for our March reading wrap-up, and we are very late in doing this, but I think you will find as I announce and share things with you in the next week or two that some life things have happened, okay? And you probably have already figured it out if you're looking at the surroundings and the fact that I am wearing overalls and did not bother to change for this video. I hope you can forgive me. We'll leave all that fun announcing for the actual announcement itself, but I wanted to do my reading wrap-up with you because it's just, I didn't want it to go too long. When I'm recording this, it's already like April 22nd or something, so I just want to get this up as quickly as possible. So that's what we're going to try to do. So without further ado, let's jump into how I usually do this thing. I want to apologize very quickly for my audio, which I'm sure is different because I cannot find the memory card for my mic, so it's just camera audio, so I'm sorry about that. And also the fact that Bogey is apparently going to nose my hand every 2 seconds during this. I hope you don't mind. I read 8 books in March for a total of 2,754 pages, so again, pretty close to that 3,000 page mark that I'm going for this year. Instead of a book number, we're doing page number, so that was good. I'm pleased with that. If you haven't been here before, here's how I do my wrap-ups. We do the best of the best books I totally recommend. I call those buy it books. Then we go into borrow it books, books that were just okay but weren't amazing or anything. And then we go into skip it books, books that I thought were not at all worth your time or your money. So you can stay for as long or as little as your heart tells you to. It's really up to you. You can just watch the best of the best, or you can watch all the way to the end where I complain a little bit. All of my buy it books were really particularly enjoyable this month, but I want to start with the fiction that I thought was the favorite because the rest are nonfiction. The fiction pick that I liked was The Body Double by Emily Beyda. This is from Doubleday Books, and I freaking loved it. It is very much in the vein of Badman and Social Creature. It's an artistic but beautiful novel that doesn't hold any cheap tricks. It's simply gorgeous writing that is sort of dreamy and takes you away, but it's not sort of a modern, fast, cheap tricks kind of book. It is contemplative and stunning, and I enjoyed the heck out of it. It is about a girl who is essentially recruited because she looks like a celebrity, and this guy wants to pay her to essentially learn to be this woman as her double. And what happens is sort of dark and sinister in a slow-paced, slow-burn, sort of poetic way that I personally adored, though apparently Goodreads does not agree with me, but whatever, I don't care about Goodreads. I loved it. I thought it was so well done. I will absolutely be reading whatever she works on next, and I messaged her on Instagram as she is working on stuff right now, so I'm excited. The next are 2 books that I am literally not going to say the titles of, but I will put the images on the screen because that is how freaked out I am, okay? Every now and then in life, I get into a rabbit hole and I just find something so mesmerizing and fascinating that I almost become obsessed with it, and I just cannot stop researching it. And that is exactly what happened to me with this topic, which again, I will not say, but it is crazy. And if you wanna go on that crazy train, I fully encourage it. DM me. Let's talk about it, but I will not talk about it here because I am that freaked out. But regardless, book-wise, both really fantastic books. This one is obviously by a celebrity, and I think she did a great job of doing what the subtitle hints at. It is both, you know, that thing and also the Hollywood thing, so it's both parts mixed together, and I thought it was a very approachable sort of, you know, dipping your toe in. And then I read this one, which is more of the deep dive where, you know, you dip your toe in, the water's fine, baby, dive on in, because we're about to go in just this crazy, it was nuts. It was nuts. I want to tell everyone about it, but I'm also afraid to talk about it. So I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut. But yeah, what a ride, man, what a ride. The reason I'm not saying it, and I probably won't list them properly in a searchable way down below, is because it is just that nuts. And I don't want to get involved, okay? I'm just a mindless drone out in the world who really likes to research weird stuff sometimes. I told my mom about this whole topic on the phone, by the way, and she was just confused and asked me how the hell I got so into it. And I don't know. I don't know how it happens to me, but it just does, okay? But it was a good ride, and now I know more about this topic than anyone has any right to know, so yeah. The last of my buy it books is the Cartiers. I am sure that I'm saying that horribly wrong, but you guys, I can't speak anything in French, okay? At all. I just, don't ask me to do it because I can't do it. It's my hick mouth. I don't know what to say. This is a biography of the family, this jewelry empire family, by a member of the family. And what is more fun than a good biography where you feel like the family, you're just sitting around over tea and they're just telling you all your secrets. That is how I felt reading this. I had such a blast. I listened to it on audiobook and it was supremely enjoyable. The narration was great. And I feel like I learned more about just jewelry. I feel like I learned history through jewelry. And this is something that I've really enjoyed about biographies in general, is that I've always loved history, but in school I had a very hard time with the dates because they didn't mean anything to me. They had like no relevance, no story to ground them. So it was just like, this is a date and this is what happened there. It didn't connect to anything bigger picture. Reading biographies really connects that for me, and it's given me a great map of the last couple of centuries, and this did that for me once again, but through jewelry, where, you know, you're learning about famous people, about business, about culture, through this one family's experience. I thought it was great if you're at all into that sort of thing. That's it for the buy it books. Let's get into the borrow it books now, starting with Life Above the Jungle Floor. This was one of my last Nonfiction Friday picks, and I had to basically reread it because it had been so long. So this is a scientist's book. If you missed that episode, I talked specifically about this scientist's experience when he was exploring a hollow tree in the rainforest, and I think it was dreamy and fascinating and very Alice in Wonderland and wonderful in that way. And I think the story is great. So if you want that story, watch the Nonfiction Friday episode. But I will just say to you, this is a scientist's book, meaning it is not really meant for like the common reader, though of course you could, like no one's stopping you, okay? But I am a biology major, so there's things in here that I don't know if it would really like translate to other people, and it's not like super user-friendly for the average person, but it's up to you. I just want to warn you of that. It's not like a super readable, engaging book. It's a biologist's book, okay? So, I mean, take that for what you will, but I did read it, and it is a middle-of-the-road book. It's not amazing, it's not bad. It kind of bridges the gap between being super nerdy and being approachable, but I just don't love it. I love that story I told I love, but I don't really love the book itself, but it is an interesting sort of scientific thing for that part of myself. Next on the borrow it list is one you actually might recognize. I'm gonna stop with the obscurity now. It is Darling Rose Gold. This has been pretty much everywhere as one of the newest like thrillers, domestic thrillers sort of things. It is about a woman whose mother has been released from prison, and she goes to pick her up and they live together, but the weird part is that her mother was convicted for abusing her. So the premise is absolutely stunning and fantastic and intriguing, and you're like, oh, this is gonna be delicious, like a delicious revenge story. And it is fine, it's okay, but I wasn't that impressed by it as the rest of the world seemed to be, or at least the PR for this book made it seem like other people were. So it's fine. It's a little tired by the end. I do think the premise is good, but I also feel like there was so much potential for that story, so much, and it only went so far when it really could have been like an amazing, amazing time. So middle of the road. If you have it already, read it. If you don't have it, then there are better books to read. Last in the borrow it section is a book called Tightrope, and I actually have the physical edition, but I cannot find it. Yes, I can't find that, or my mic, or my mic's memory card, so we're really on a roll here, okay? But I can't find it, so I'll just have to pop the digital image up. It is a book about, it's nonfiction, about sort of middle America and small town America and how that has really degraded and shifted and changed within the last generation or two. I think that's a fascinating topic, and one that is sort of dear to my heart, as I grew up in a small town where when we got a Walmart when I was in high school, it was a very big deal, and that's where we hung out. We would like get coffee and go to Walmart. So I really am curious and interested and invested in the future of small town America. So Tightrope is about really the drug abuse and alcohol problems that have seemingly just exploded in these small working class towns, as things like resources and jobs and stuff like that have gone down. I was really hoping for a non-political view of this topic. Unfortunately, I think that is quite hard to come by, and though I did appreciate that at times the authors of this book did try to state that they were trying to be middle of the road. They would say that, but then it would also, like in summations, it would be very politically leaning one way, which for me is really, really frustrating because I am not interested in that. Like when I'm researching a topic, I just kind of I would rather they had interviewed people, which they did, and just put the interviews straight in the book and let me make my own opinions, and then maybe they could have had like an afterword or something, just because it kind of ruined a lot of the mentality for me personally, because I'm on the opposite end of the perspective for this topic, which this whole premise basically about this book, Tightrope, is saying that the solution is not pull yourself up by the bootstraps, which, you know, I really believe in that. So it was really weird for me because they kept saying how terrible a thing that was, when I really believe the exact opposite of that. So I think if you have that sort of political leaning, then it might be for you. And you might like it because it's telling what you already know. For me, it was the opposite, where I liked parts of it and I was grateful that I read it because it challenged me, because it was someone else's ideology, but I still didn't agree. So yeah, middle of the road book. I think some people would like it more than I did. That's it for Borrow It books. For Skip It books, I just have one. It is another popular one. Lately, I've seen it around at least. It's Death in the Family. It is a sort of traditional, or an attempt at traditional, I should say. I mean, I should really say that considering it's in the Skip It category. Traditional attempt at a isolated murder mystery story, you know, where there's like some old house and a rich family and they're all isolated there, and then someone dies and you've got to figure it out. So to me, that sounded fun. And I think that sounds fun to a lot of people, but it just does not translate in this book. I had so much hope for it in the beginning. I actually liked the beginning, but I was kind of bored, but I had hopes, you know what I mean? I had hopes. And then as we went along, it just got worse and worse. And every time I thought that it couldn't be more annoying, it got more annoying. What I really didn't like was the main character dynamic, because she's set up as if we're supposed to care about her, but there's no setup to make me care about her. You know what I'm saying? Also, the mystery itself was very, I don't know, it just left sort of a bitter taste in my mouth, because while it was trying to give a nod to the old school, but be new, but not be innovative. And I don't know, for me, it just fell flat. I'm not gonna say much more about it other than I don't really recommend it, because there are better mystery books in the world to be read. And listen, you and I only have so much time to read all the books that we're gonna read in our lifetime, and we have to get to it. Okay, we can't be wasting our time on stuff like this, okay? So yeah, that's how I feel about it. Skip it. That is it for my reading wrap up. If you're still here and you watched it all the way through, thanks for hanging out with me. I'm sorry that this took so long, but said life changes that I had alluded to at the beginning of this video will soon make all of that make sense, and we will soon be back on track. I took sort of 4 weeks unintentionally, but that's just what it ended up being. It's very exciting. It's very good news. I cannot wait to tell you. I just want to make sure I have everything sort of ready to go. Does that make any sense at all? So I'm thrilled. I'm stoked. I never thought this would happen for us, and I can't wait to share it with you. But until then, I will keep my mouth shut, mum's the word, and I'll let you know very, very soon. If you liked this video, give it a quick thumbs up. Before you go, drop a comment below. Let me know what you loved or hated last month. And if you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.